Chosen ones, welcome. To the world you may appear soft-spoken, gentle-hearted and patient, yet your spirit is bound by a strength only a few understand. They thought they understood you. They expected an angel who would never challenge, a light that would never cast a shadow. But they're mistaken. When a chosen one, guided by the Holy Spirit, steps fully into their God-given purpose, there is a power there that can't be explained away. The world has yet to understand that the scariest strength lies not in harsh words or hardened hearts, but in the calm, steady spirit that can both love and see with divine clarity. Think about it. Many people believed that Jesus, with all his gentleness, would only remain passive in the face of adversity. But Jesus knew when to stand firm, to say, "This is my Father's house," and clear out the temple. His kindness never invited disrespect. It was guided by discernment, by the Holy Spirit, and he moved in God's timing. That same Spirit moves in you. Let this message remind you of the strength you carry, of God's guidance as you walk through life in the presence of those who may not see what you're truly capable of. Kindness is often misunderstood as weakness, but chosen ones, you know this isn't true. The strength in your kindness is not a pass for others to test your limits or manipulate your goodwill. Your compassion is paired with an unbreakable foundation of boundaries, a foundation as strong as the stone upon which Jesus built his church. Some believe that because you're kind, you'll let things slide, that you'll stay silent and endure whatever they choose to throw your way. But God has placed boundaries in your heart to keep you from harm. Imagine this. Someone steps too close, thinking they can test the waters of your patience, and they meet not with anger, but with a quiet, unyielding resolve. You don't raise your voice. There's no bitterness in your tone. Yet they sense the line they cannot cross. That strength, the Holy Spirit working within, is what leaves them speechless. They came looking for the open-hearted you, and they found themselves staring at a wall built from both love and unshakable self-respect. It's a wall they never expected, a wall that signals not a lack of love, but a fierce dedication to honoring the Spirit within you. In the Bible, we see Jesus turn the other cheek, yes, but he also knew when to set limits. He didn't allow disrespect toward his mission or the holiness of his Father's name. When you draw a line, you are not rejecting kindness. You're preserving the purity of your heart. And in doing so, you reflect the strength of God's love, a love that knows when to say no. Chosen ones, you are blessed with discernment, a gift from God that allows you to see clearly through the illusions people try to weave around you. In a world full of masks and hidden agendas, your intuition cuts through with a razor's precision. People come into your life with smiles and sweet words, thinking they can fool you. They believe their charm and carefully crafted stories will earn your trust. But they don't understand that the Spirit within you sees beyond what they pretend to be. This ability to see the truth unsettles them. When they attempt to deceive you, they're used to others falling for the act. But when they meet you, chosen ones, they encounter an invisible force, a clarity that seems to pull their intentions out into the open. Your spirit, guided by the Holy Spirit, is like a spotlight exposing what others tried so hard to hide. You don't need to confront them. You simply see. And in that seeing, their masks start to crumble. Look at Jesus and his encounters with those who tried to deceive or trap him with their words. Time and again, he saw through the Pharisees' traps, understanding their motives before they even spoke. He responded not with aggression, but with calm, revealing the truth of their hearts. Your gift works in the same way. You don't wield it as a weapon. It is simply the way God has crafted you, to see, to discern, to know. And in that knowing, those who would deceive find themselves vulnerable, unsteady, unable to maintain their facades. Chosen ones, you carry a presence that commands respect without ever demanding it. In today's world, many people seek validation loudly, needing recognition and applause. But you, chosen ones, walk into a room, and your presence alone speaks for you. This is not arrogance. It is a quiet confidence rooted in your knowledge of God's love for you. You don't need to chase approval because you know that your worth comes from the Creator. Brothers and sisters, today we're speaking a truth many don't understand. Yet you have felt it. You've walked into rooms and felt people grow uneasy. You've sat in spaces where whispers suddenly stopped, eyes cast down, as if the very atmosphere shifted. This power you carry is not because of anything seen on the surface. It's the spirit within you. You hold a light, a power that terrifies those who rely on darkness. And let me tell you, it's not the devil they fear. It's you. That's why chosen ones are scarier than the devil. And today, we're going to dive deep into why that is. People have tried to rattle you, haven't they? They've brought chaos, stirred up drama, expecting to pull you into their storms. They've used anger, manipulation, guilt, anything they could to see you react, hoping to control you through emotions. But let me tell you, chosen ones, your peace is not for sale. When they throw their waves, they find you standing steady, like a rock unmoved by the tide. And that's why chosen ones are scarier than the devil to some, because no matter the noise, the attempts to provoke, you remain calm. You are like Jesus in the boat during the storm, resting in peace while others panic. He knew who held the waves, who calmed the sea. And you carry that same peace, chosen ones. You don't respond the way they expect, and it terrifies them because they can't manipulate what they can't shake. That's a power they can't understand, and it leaves them unnerved. Oh, they thought they could deceive you. People come with their masks, their charming words, hiding true intentions. They thought you'd be blinded by their facades, that you'd be led astray by appearances. But here's the truth. Chosen ones, you've been given the gift of discernment. You see beyond their words, their pretenses. You see their motives as clear as day. And that is why chosen ones are scarier than the devil. Think of Jesus when the Pharisees tried to trap him with tricky questions. They thought they could outsmart the Son of God, but he saw right through them. And just like him, you've seen through people who thought they could fool you. They realize that their masks slip in your presence. They become afraid because you expose what they've worked so hard to hide. Without a word, your spirit reveals their deception. And that's a terrifying thing for those who live in the shadows. Chosen ones, your forgiveness is not weakness. Some people believe that if they hurt you, you'll forgive them, and they'll have a fresh start every time. They assume that your mercy means you'll forget, that they can continue to take advantage. But that's where they're wrong. That's why chosen ones are scarier than the devil. Because while you forgive, you don't forget. You're not easily fooled. Look at Joseph in the Bible. His brothers betrayed him, sold him, and left him for dead. Years later, he forgave them, but he didn't immediately trust them. He tested them, saw if they had changed, and only then did he embrace them. Your forgiveness is like Joseph's, rooted in love but guided by wisdom. They see now that they can't play you twice, that your forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. And this truth unsettles them deeply, realizing they've lost the control they thought they had. Chosen ones, have you ever walked into a room and felt the very energy shift? Have you noticed people growing silent, uncomfortable, as if something unseen had changed? That's because your presence carries a divine authority. You don't need to demand attention or raise your voice. You carry a peace and strength that challenges the dynamics wherever you go. And that's why chosen ones are scarier than the devil to some. They know their control slips away when you arrive. Think of Jesus entering the temple, filled with merchants and money changers, people who had turned a holy place into a marketplace. He didn't shout his authority. His presence alone was enough to command it. And you, chosen ones, have that same effect. You walk in, and suddenly those who control through manipulation feel powerless. They fear you, because they realize their games have no effect on you. They realize they cannot manipulate someone whose authority is rooted in the Spirit. Some people came into your life thinking they could break you. They thought, if I apply enough pressure, if I put them through enough trials, they'll finally fall apart. They didn't realize that every hardship you've faced has only made you stronger. Every challenge has refined you, forged you in fire. That's why chosen ones are scarier than the devil, because you don't just survive trials, you grow stronger in them. Remember Job? The enemy threw everything at him, thinking he'd curse God and give up. But Job stood firm, holding on to faith even when he didn't understand. And when he came through, he was more blessed, more powerful than before. You too have faced trials that were meant to break you, but instead, they made you unbreakable. And when people see that no pressure, no storm can shake you, they realize they have no power over you. That terrifies them, knowing you are untouchable by the very trials they thought would destroy you. The world is filled with half-truths and deceptions, with people who wear masks and play roles. And they thought they could get you to accept these lies, to go along with the narratives they created. But that's where they were wrong. You walk in truth, chosen ones. You don't bend to illusions or hide from reality. And that's why chosen ones are scarier than the devil, because you don't just live in truth, you reveal it. Think about when Jesus confronted the Pharisees, calling them whitewashed tombs. He knew what lay beneath the surface, and he wasn't afraid to expose it. You carry that same truth. You see the world as it is, not as others pretend it to be. People who thrive on deception find this unsettling. They sense that you see through them, that with one word you could unravel their lies. They fear you because you don't just live in truth. You are a beacon of it, and darkness cannot stand in your light. 7. They tried to bind you with fear, but you walked in faith. They've tried to scare you, haven't they? They pointed out the risks, whispered doubts, hoping you'd retreat. hoping you'd back down. But chosen ones, you don't walk by sight. You walk by faith. That's why chosen ones are scarier than the devil, because no amount of fear can bind you when you are led by God. Think of Peter stepping out of the boat, defying nature to walk on water. The disciples watched in awe, not because of Peter's ability, but because of his faith. You have stepped into places where others thought you'd sink. You have walked through storms that would have drowned anyone else. And those who tried to bind you with fear saw something they couldn't understand. You kept moving forward, led not by fear, but by faith. And that's why they fear you, because they know they cannot scare you into submission. The world expects people to fall in line, to conform, to fit a mold. They wanted you to follow their ways, to live by their rules, to go along with the flow. But that's not who you are. You were set apart, chosen to walk a different path. That's why chosen ones are scarier than the devil, because you don't conform to the world's standards. You live by a higher calling. Think of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who refused to bow to Nebuchadnezzar's golden idol. They knew the risk, but they also knew who they served. They stood apart, even when it meant facing the fiery furnace. You too stand apart. When others bow to societal pressures, you remain true to God's purpose for you. This terrifies those who thrive on control, because they realize you are not theirs to command. You walk to the beat of a divine rhythm, and nothing they do will sway you. Chosen ones know that your presence alone is a force to be reckoned with. People may not understand it, and some may even fear it. But remember, this strength, this resilience, this truth is a gift from God. You carry a light that challenges the darkness, a peace that withstands the storm, and a faith that cannot be shaken. Let the world tremble, for you are here for a purpose that no devil can disrupt. Stand firm, walk boldly, and remember, you are here not to fit in, but to shine.